relationship or that situation right now, and she's with a man who is, she can't see, because I'm sure you know we can't see, we can't tell, we're women, we know these things, but maybe we're making excuses. Or what are the things you would advise her to do right now?
Okay, that's a great question. So the first thing I would say to her is you need to face facts. So let's write down exactly what you're experiencing, not what you're feeling. Because what I've noticed, you know, doing this work for 10 plus years now is women tend to move with their emotions, and emotions are fickle and they change. So I like to keep things as factual as possible. Write down what you are experiencing and then ask yourself, if someone close to you was going through this, what would you tell them? Because that would give you the realistic perspective of what it looks like for someone you love to be experiencing the kind of emotional and, God willing not, but physical violence you may be going through. Then find an accountability partner, somebody that you trust, that you can talk to, that wouldn't judge you, that wouldn't shame you. And then take a little step. You know, that little step could be talking to the man about it, maybe because women in these situations, they lose their voice. So, you know, take a little step, maybe standing your ground on something small, but it will give you back your power. Once you take that little step, the next one would naturally unfold before you. And little by little, you can find yourself out of that situation. The mistake I see made is, you know, unfortunately, conventionally, you may be told to just manage. You know, you've been waiting so long, this is the only one, just manage him like that. All men are the same, blah, blah, blah. But it's important to ask yourself, in the next 2 years, I like to future project with clients. In the next 2 years, if you're in this situation, what's your reality? And of course, the answer to that question would not be bright, right? So, you know, to take it back, write it down. Ask yourself, if somebody you love is in this situation, what would you advise them? Find an accountability partner to help you, and then take a little step and take it from there.
That's really good. Really, really good. I like the fact that you said you have to write down what's going on, not your emotions. And then if you see someone that you love, I think it's taking the situation away from yourself and putting it on someone else. Would you actually be okay with that? And you know, we wouldn't be okay with that. You know, for the woman who is not in that situation, she's on her own lane and she's waiting. What would you say to her? What word would you give her? What words of advice would you give her while she waits? She has her standards, and she has, as a Christian woman, she knows what she's supposed to do and what she's looking for, but she's waiting. What would you tell her to do right now?
You need to be visible. This is something
You
I've
need to
always
be
visible.
Okay.
It's something I'm so passionate about that, because you know, it's something I tell my clients, like literally every week we have like a visibility plan. Like literally, how are you visible? How are men seeing you? If he wants to see you, where is he going to find you? There are only 3 ways. It's either going to be online. So that can be through social media. It could be through dating platforms. It could be through virtual events, right? Or it could be in person. So in person, what's your routine like? Do you interact? Because women, you know, we go to spaces, we keep to ourselves, and then we leave. You need to interact. Even if it's one person, that's one more person added to your network. Then finally, it's family and friends. So you need at least 2 of those 3 actively showing you visibly. What I've seen is, because I work with, like, you know, you mentioned, high performing women that are in leadership positions. I find that career-wise, they are very visible and they are very known. But personally, no one really knows them. That's the mistake I see. So the first step is use your visibility personally the way you've used it professionally. So ask yourself, do I want to do it online? Do I want to do it in person? Do I want to go through for family and friends? What's the easiest way for me to be visible? Because as soon as you're visible, you're going to start seeing more options of men that you meet, or men that potentially suit what you have been waiting for. The problem I see with just waiting, unfortunately, the way it has been put out there, is just wait and hope. The man will land in front of your door.
Come into your bedroom.
You know, he will come into your bedroom, land in front of your door. He will just miraculously say, "I'm your husband." Which, if that happens, thank you.
Run.
You need to run as quickly as you can. So visibility is the first step, and then when you're visible, you can actually taste what it feels like to talk to men that you think have the qualities you desire. Because with my clients, they think they want something. When they see it, they're like, actually, I'm not so sure anymore, right? So we need to put you in front of men. So visibility is the first step that I would say.
Wow. Visibility. So girl, get up and
go
out. Get up and go out. I want us to go back a bit. You know, before we talk about, there are some other areas of your expertise, which are with single mothers, you know, women who are advanced in age as well. But let's circle back to, because this thing is really deep, this attraction issue. Let's know, you know, some clients that you've had, if it, you know, we don't need to mention names, but how you were able to tackle those issues, and by the grace of God, they're still together today, you know, because when you hear some people's stories, when, you know, I'm watching something and I hear someone's story and I may be going through that thing, people have a sense of, if I'm going through a problem, it's just me. It's just me. This is what I am going through and nobody else understands, no one knows. So what are some of the issues that you really saw that you were able to solve, you know, with this attraction issue in marriage? Because it is a big issue. It's a very big issue that people don't talk about. Can you please explain?
Yeah, sure. So with
relationship,